This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Noon podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Well, good day. I'm Elena Rusk. We begin with that breaking news as a former member of Congress has been charged, arrested, and booked for multiple fraud schemes, including campaign contribution fraud. According to the Department of Justice, former current Congressman T.J. Cox diverted client and company money to off-the-books bank accounts, fraudulently obtaining millions of dollars. Cox, a Democrat, represented Kern's 21st Congressional District, the seat currently held by David Valadao from 2018 to 2020. Cox was indicted by a federal grand jury on 28 counts of fraud, including 15 counts of wire fraud, 11 counts of money laundering, and 1 count of financial institution. If convicted, he faces up to 55 years in prison and $500,000 in fines. 17's Maddie Gannon will have much more on this coming up on 17 News at 5. And now to more breaking news and a stunning development in the murder case of 3-year-old Major Sutton. The 2 men accused of fatally shooting the boy in 2017 were back in court today, and minutes ago we learned they pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter, attempted murder, and other charges. Tyrone Johnson and David Palms were charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, and other offenses in the shooting that killed Major and wounded his pregnant mother and young brother on November 10, 2017. The shooting is believed to be gang-related, as Palms and Johnson are members of the East Side Crips Street gang, and court documents reveal Major's mother was living with a rival gang member. Following their arrest and waiting for trial, sheriff's officials say the 2 broke out of Lerdo jail in April of last year by cutting a hole in the ceiling and making their way to the roof. Surveillance footage showed Johnson and Palms sliding down a flagpole as they made their escape. Palms was recaptured hours later at a Dollar General store on Lerdo Highway near Highway 43. Johnson remained at large for nearly 2 months before being taken into custody after a vehicle chase in Bakersfield. Johnson and Palms were expected to begin their murder trial on September 19th, but after today's plea, the judge said Johnson now faces 42 years and 8 months in prison, and David Palms could get a 27-year term, sentencing now scheduled for September 21st. And a suspect in a deadly shooting at a local motel is due back in court tomorrow. Police say 63-year-old Vernon McCullum shot and killed 38-year-old Sabrina Shelton last Wednesday at the Manila Inn on Union Avenue. According to court records, McCullum told police he was arguing with his daughter when the daughter's boyfriend heard the commotion and came outside. That's when McCullum allegedly grabbed his gun and fired a shot in the air. Police reports say as he was leaving, McCullum fired another round toward a room where the boyfriend ran for cover. The round missed the boyfriend, but hit Shelton, an innocent bystander. She died at Kern Medical Center an hour later. McCullum has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder. And we're learning more about the murder of a 68-year-old woman in central Bakersfield 2 years ago. Court documents obtained by 17 News confirm 68-year-old Henrietta Snowden was found dead with blunt force trauma in her home on Chester Place on July 8, 2020. Investigators say her son, 46-year-old James Lee Glass, beat her to death with a baseball bat. Glass appeared in court Monday, where his arraignment on a murder charge was postponed to August 22nd, but he is being held without bail. And out of your crime watch, the Bakersfield Police Department saying they're aware of a social media post warning people of a possible serial killer or abductor in Bakersfield, but they say it has no basis in truth. The post circulating on social media says there is a, quote, serial killer or abductor who is currently hunting in Bakersfield. The police department says that this social media hoax has been posted all across the country. They say there's no need to panic and, quote, cave to mass hysteria, and that if you do find yourself in an unsafe or dangerous situation, call 911. And now to the state's wildfires, with a new one igniting in the Sequoia National Forest northeast of Porterville in Tulare County. The Wishon fire started Monday afternoon and has now burned 350 acres. It's only 5% contained. Campers at Wishon Campground were asked to leave the area. Residents in the communities of Doyle Springs were allowed to remain in place unless conditions worsened. Highway 190 is closed to all traffic just above Springville. The cause of this fire has yet to be determined.
Hello, this is Tim Callahan with Clinica Sierra Vista, and we're excited to unveil the Community Health Center of the Future, our comprehensive care center. It's located right across the street from Memorial Hospital. We have every service under one roof, from family medicine, OB/GYN care, dental services for adults and children, behavioral health, and much more. So find your way to better care at Clinica Sierra Vista this year at our comprehensive care center. Visit our website, clinicasierravista.org, for the latest on this project. We'll see you soon.
As most kids are heading back to school tomorrow, both law enforcement and school officials say unsafe drivers have led to some consequences for students. So we have 17's Chris Burton now in studio with more on that. Chris?
Well, Elena, those school zone speed limits will go back into effect tomorrow as these kids go back to school. And while those zones are designed to prevent accidents, officials say, unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. Posted school zone signs serve as a reminder to drivers to take it slow when children are around. With hundreds of young students under his care, road safety is of such concern to Wingland Elementary Principal Richard Morosa that he oversees it personally.
I have seen vehicles coming at a high rate of speed in front of my school and to the side and behind it when children are present, and that very much concerns me because it could lead to serious injury or even worse.
California law requires drivers to slow to 25 miles per hour or slower if otherwise posted when driving within 500 to 1,000 feet of a school. But law enforcement says those limits are only effective as the drivers who follow them. Last year, the California Highway Patrol responded to a handful of accidents caused by speeding or distracted drivers.
I can remember one in specific on Niles and on Niles Street by Horseman School, where a lady in an SUV hit a parent and her child. Right, luckily no serious injuries, but again, that just goes to show you that we have to be attentive, especially a little extra attentive when traveling to those school zones.
Rodriguez says if you have school-aged children, educate them on the importance of using crosswalks and sidewalks safely. Well, the CHP says they will be heavily enforcing those school zones during the first few weeks of the school year, trying to persuade drivers just to take it slow, right? And Elena, I'll be live tomorrow morning at Del Oro High School, Kern County's newest high school for back to school as students head back to class. Very exciting all around the county. So we will have much more tomorrow on 17 News at Sunrise.
And now to the coronavirus, as most Kern County students are returning to school this week. And while COVID-19 is still a concern for parents and families, officials expect a school year with fewer disruptions and illnesses. Modeling from the Kern County Public Health Department predicts a decline in COVID-19 cases over the next few weeks. Most districts will continue to follow statewide guidelines, recommending students who test positive stay home for 5 days or until symptoms have cleared. Masking is a recommendation, and the COVID-19 vaccine will not be required for students until at least the start of next school year. So let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 case numbers here locally. Kern County Public Health just updated their dashboard minutes ago to reflect 1,378 new positive cases and 9 new deaths, bringing us to a total of 2,508 Kern residents lost to the virus. State data shows we have 75 patients hospitalized in Kern with the virus and 16 listed in intensive care units. Now to your 17 Health Watch. It is Valley Fever Awareness Month, and today Kern County Public Health officials released 2021 Valley Fever data for our county, reflecting 3,045 cases, an increase of 50 more cases than reported in 2020. Valley fever is an endemic illness caused by a fungus that lives in the soil and dirt here. People and animals can get exposed by breathing in spores of the fungus, which are small and not visible to the naked eye. About 60% of infected people will not develop symptoms, but people who do develop symptoms can have fever, cough, chest pain, muscle or joint aches, tiredness, headaches, weight loss, and rash. In severe infections, the fungus can infect the brain, joints, bones, skin, or other organs. In rare cases, it can lead to death. 17's Marco Torres will have more on this latest report and how you can protect your family from Valley fever, coming up on 17 News at 5. In business news, the Kern County Fair just around the corner, and managers are hosting a job fair next Saturday to hire fair workers on the spot. The 2022 Job Fair will be at the Kern County Fair on August 27th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Just head over to Building 1 to learn more about the positions available, including parking and admission ticket sellers, customer service representatives, janitorial and staff, security, and more. They're asking you to fill out an application beforehand at kerncountyfair.com and bring your photo ID and social security card. Applicants aged 15 to 17 must also bring a work permit.
The 17 News at Noon podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.